That's why we're moving into the next coverage of today's good old stream by Ashley Embers. No Thoughts, No Problems. There's an app for that. Ashley made some pretty cool shit, so I think this is going to be a great jumping off point for a lot of other conversations. Before we get into it, though, please everybody go and subscribe to Ashley's channel, like the videos, always support the content that we're covering, and also just a slight reminder to help us reach today's goal of the subscriptions. I'm not going to give you any annoying grift hot takes. It just, what is necessary for the show to run. We're 100% zero ads, as we've promised. We're trying to build up a very self-sustaining community and try to take this whole thing to the next level. So anybody even considering it, I am very, very grateful. And to all of you that make some extra bucks in your lives, do consider gifting subscriptions to those guys, because it's to an extent a loop. They get a subscription from you guys. Eventually, they become subscribers. Hell, maybe they get older. It's like paying into the pension fund. They get older. One day you're going to be struggling. You're going to be a pensioner, but they're going to be working and gifting you subs in return.
Wonderful.
Thank you,
Soldier.
thank you, Toasty, very much for the gift. What if there is a total kick crash out and it implodes? That would be the best fucking thing to ever happen. I'm switching to a flip phone soon. Wild much planning it requires to switch. You mean an old school flip phone, not one of those flip Samsungs. Yeah, dude, it's going to be like probably 90% of the texting that you do is done through social media platforms, and the old school like offline phones don't really have much access to that. So you want to try and balance out the death scrolling out of your life, but you also want to have access to people in your community for you to be able to interact with them. So there's no really like it's blaming the phone or blaming the internet is kind of missing the forest for the trees. This is a systemic problem causing us to just turn our screens into yet another commodity we consume for the sake of consuming, and the greater your alienation becomes, and it is going to become greater and greater as late-stage capitalism enters some of its doom phases, the higher our drive towards consuming for the sake of consuming, be it on the screen or be it just buying stuff for the sake of buying it, the bigger part of our everyday life is going to be subsumed by that, because we're going to be looking for an out. We're constantly going to be looking for an out from the feelings that have been crushing us. And this has been done throughout history, right? This is usually why people got so insanely fucking drunk all the time or did so much fucking drugs. Just capitalism has now supplied us with other types of stuff that can get us high in a different way. Your Labubus, your video game skins, or the new Gucci belt, or an improved version of the car that you already cannot afford. So always look at it from a systemic point of view, not this thing is bad just because it is a thing. Hammers can be used to smash heads in. They can be used to make houses. It is the hand which carries them and the manner in which it carries them that should be criticized and analyzed.
Just 5 more minutes. We all say that, right? 5 more minutes, and before I know it, it's 3 a.m. and I've spiraled down the digital rabbit hole. My brain's fried, but I keep telling myself just one more video.
When I'm at work, I think like, oh, I can't wait to play my iPad games. And then when I play my iPad, I can't wait to get in.
I go to work and spend 8 hours on big screen. Then I come home and I relax by spending 8 more hours on small screen.
Ad, like one of those 60-second ads where you have to watch a YouTube video, because I'm like, oh, that'll be my little phone break.
I feel like my brain is turning to goo. It's mush, and it's goopified.
20 years of your life is spent just scrolling on your phone.
Looking at your phone. What's social media doing to our brain?
Continually pressing on the pleasure centers in your brain. The more you press on them, they begin to become numb.
I think one of the most damaging things about
And so this and that particular type of analysis is exceptionally lacking because every other form of consumption does the same thing to you. You feel sad, you go shopping. It presses on that part of your brain where for, I don't know, 24 hours, you forget about the fact that you're completely alienated and hate your fucking life, right? Same thing applies to any other commodity consumption. We just like to hyper-focus on the digital. There is a reason why we should focus on the digital and analyze the digital because it is so freely available, and we all indirectly believe in the free lie that, content is free, even though there's a lot of very often unpaid labor going into producing it, which just make us, that old joke, you will own nothing and you will be happy. Well, digitization to an extent has contributed to us being able to avoid our alienation without being further radicalized against the system by consuming something that doesn't really exist in a three-dimensional space. There used to be a whole apparatus at play that is going to design, create, mold, and market a physical object that then you would consume in order to alleviate alienation, or you would consume it because you really fuck with it. But then again, you never know if you really fuck with it for this reason or that reason. What the digital market, let's call it that, introduces to that wider conversation is that it gives you something that virtually, pun intended, everybody involved in the process of creating isn't really even getting paid for, except the wider platform that is holding this or that type of monopoly on the particular type of digital content that you're consuming. So it's no longer you will own nothing and you will be happy. It is you will own digital relationships, which directly imply you own nothing and you will be happy. And if I was, doing Twitch for the sake of, I don't know, some fucking subscription grind or whatever, I would not be supposed to, I'm not supposed to be telling you this, right? Because you, to an extent, are consuming me and you're consuming all your other favorite people that you're watching, et cetera, and it is, you're packaging us as a particular service / product on a daily basis. Now, leftists online, et cetera, are trying to quite literally turn that into the capitalists will sell us the rope we will hang them with type of scenario where, yes, we package ourselves to an extent as a digital product, a digital commodity, but then we use the fact that you want to come into these spaces in order to alleviate some of your capitalist-induced anxieties to redirect it back at capitalism, right? That is what good propaganda, in my modest opinion, is. It swallows up a very real need, but a very real need that is generated by the system itself, and it removes the de-radicalizing aspects of it. To repeat myself, it swallows something that feeds a very real need, throws it back at the audience, but without removing, but by adding radicalizing aspects to it, or by removing the de-radicalizing aspects of commodity consumption for the sake of commodity consumption. That's more general. Now we're getting complicated, but I think you're following. Online leftists will say the capitalists will sell us a rope to hang them with and have no fucking clue on how to tie a noose. Very true. Very true. In business school, they frame it solution in need of a problem. Yes, I remember. Also, you do not only address needs, you address wants, and wants you can create. Right? Gotta love the PGP. No. The good thing about socialism is if you are doing the reading, then you are being explicitly encouraged to put all of your reading to use in the communities around you all the way to the international level. Absolutely.
doom scrolling that not a lot of people realize is that you start to dilute your own memories.
I genuinely don't know what's happening, but my memory is getting so bad.
Does anyone else have literally no memory of anything beyond like 4 or 5 years ago?
I feel like we live in a society now where like nobody thinks for themselves anymore. Take what they see in videos or whatever's trending in the world, and they will take those views and make it their own and just follow the leader.
I mean, that has pretty much always happened. Your opinions and attitudes are formed by you reading or hearing something. I mean, what is parenting? Motherfucker just described parenting, but like outsourced parenting. Half of your fucking hot takes are just hot takes that your parents gave you that you thought up, but you didn't. And also they didn't. Their grandparents thought them up. And then your parents' hot take changed to that of their grandparents because their material conditions changed to that of their grandparents. So they readjusted a particular hot take. And then you were like, oh, mom and dad don't know what they're talking about when it comes to this, but then you're just readjusting it to your material conditions. And then you have a kid that has completely different material conditions, most likely, and you're throwing it at them as a wisdom that can be applied to them. Herder, why don't you just, not buy Starbucks coffee? You will be able to afford a mortgage type of if we're using an oversimplified example. It's not just social media affecting memories. We are more stressed, which affects it too. Of course, that's why I really like the term alienation.
Hey, quick minor request of you before you go and pull up that tab to put this video in 1.5 speed. Maybe don't. Not because it helps my retention, though I'd be lying if I said there wasn't a conflict of interest, but because you clicked on this video to try and figure out why our brains feel broken. And to do that, it's for the best that we start off by experiencing this one in real time, because we've become a culture that consumes faster than we can.
Oh, no, sister. Here on Twitch, we're going to experience it in even slower than real time, okay? We're going to experience it at 1 time speed, but then I'm going to continuously pause and then talk for 7 hours about something that can be explained in 2 words.
Can even question what the consuming is doing.
Isn't that an interesting thing about streaming? To an extent, even though it's like very down the funnel when it comes to being, online, like very rarely do people actually watch streams. You guys are like a very special category of human being. And usually it would be, the implication is if somebody is on Twitch, they're really, really online. And if somebody is really, really online, the implication is they are content brained out of their content, like they're TikTok brained out of their mind. But Twitch is the opposite of being TikTok brained, at least political Twitch. Because you cannot 2x speed something that is going live, right? You got to listen to me at my own pace, which implies that you really are not TikTok brained. So in a weird way, what I'm trying to say is the barrier to entry for a Twitch stream is very, very high because you need to be really deep into digital culture. But that does not mean that the type of people that come to Twitch streams actually have TikTok brains. I don't know about that, but I mean, the empirical evidence is in front of you. Some of you even watch the whole streams. For me, that's like 4 hours and so on, sometimes 5. That is not TikTok brained. But most people on political Twitch do something parallel to the Twitch, so it's a different kind of TikTok. What do you mean by that? I don't get that. When I use TikTok, I feel like my TikTok brain is turned on. Yeah, I'm the same. I am the same.
To us. And it's the reason why video essayists like me put in stock overlays and animations every 5 to 10 seconds, because people will leave if they aren't entertained to their liking.
Are you not entertained?
And you're not alone in this. Honestly, you'd be hard pressed to find me watching a YouTube video without also scrolling my phone at the same time. Multitasking is the default now, and monofocus is for chumps. And I know, we've heard of
monofocus. Man, we're so cucked.
It all before, it's the damn phones. But today I want to go deeper into what that actually means, because as it turns out, it's not just social media that's the problem, but the screen economy as a whole that's doing long-term, possibly irreversible damage.
I would expand that. I would say that just capitalist, consumerist, not consumer, consumerist culture in general spirals more and more out of control as alienation becomes bigger and bigger, and alienation becomes bigger and bigger, the more money is condensed in fewer and fewer hands. That's basically it. Should watch documentaries on hacking incidents sometime. Chat needs education. Fuck yeah, why not? There's still an element of bourgeois black box to Twitch, though. More base media are like the printed word and radio, etc. Yeah, there is a massive element of bourgeois black box to Twitch. I completely agree. I completely fucking agree.
To how we think, focus, and function. But the real kicker is that despite what the tech giants want us to believe, this isn't just something that we're doing to ourselves, it's something that's being done to us intentionally. A subtle, ongoing
There is a weird type of privilege that needs to be, I guess, acknowledged when it comes to my ability to be able to stream to you. Like, that's insane privilege. Like, streamer privilege is fucking absurd, right? But there is also a certain type of privilege that, you know, you guys have the time and the ability and the access to internet and electricity that allows you to enter these. But then again, you know, you can watch Twitch dying on the street from homelessness, or you can watch Twitch in a massive mansion, et cetera, et cetera. And that privilege, obviously, that I have is a I don't know, a weird, strange, cringe economy of both wanting to entertain you, but and then also having to beg for money in order to be able to do so. It is a strange conundrum. And also I like chatters themselves create content as well by chatting, and whenever I'm responding to a chat, I am potentially making money off of the content they threw at me by reinterpreting it from my end without ever actually paying out to the chatter. That's why we joked there could be like a Twitch alternative where profit is unironically in a very interesting and democratic manner on the subscriptions or on the ads and so on, shared between chatter and actual Twitch streamer. We are content creators, chat. You 100% are. Chatters create all the value. Okay, now you're pushing it. Now you're pushing it. Now you're pushing it. But yeah, and ironically, and there's a lot of streamers that, for example, spend their entire stream just talking to chat. And those are cases where literally like chat is just having their labor extracted. I mean, if we're applying very, very basic Marxian perspective towards that, I mean, that's what it is. If, I don't know, a stream is like 20 minutes, for example, I don't know, Hassan for 10 minutes talks to a chatter, there's a back and forth, and during those 10 minutes, Hassan makes, I don't know, like 60 new subscriptions. Out of those 60, let's say 40 gift subs came in exactly because of that conversation. Isn't the chatter supposed to receive a part of that money? You know, it's just a conundrum we find ourselves in, isn't it? With that being said, though, subscribe so that I can steal more of your content. Gift subs to your fellow chatters to thank them for the crazy amount of content they are generating for free. But now they can generate it for free while being subscribers. Internalize the contradiction. Do it ironically, okay? Subscribe ironically. I wonder how much Hassan makes in an hour. I would imagine it's over 250, but under 1,000 on average. I have no idea. Probably a lot of money. Thank you very much, and he deserves all of it. God bless him. Thank you very much, anonymous gift subber Xi Jinping himself. Whenever somebody who is anonymous gifts here, we joke that it's China money. China money, or I'm receiving it from the Kremlin, or I'm receiving it from George Soros, or I'm receiving it from the Republican Party. Depending on your perspective, I'm a shill for one of them. Okay? Thank you for the anonymous gifty. We are 10% away from our daily goal.
Fracturing of our ability to be present, to resist distraction.
Or from Big Ski Mask. Yeah, I'm a big ski mask guy. Big Ski Mask. I am actually Big Ski Mask, pretending that I work for Big Ski Mask.
And to own
I thought it was North Korea that was financing you these days. There you go, another perspective.
our own time. So the real question we have to figure out today is, what is late stage screen addiction, and how do we slow down in a world that's only speeding up?
Damn it, I gave him content again. There you go. I just interacted with your stuff. But nobody subscribed during that period, so I stole nothing because we are 0 ads.
So we've come a long way from the techno-optimistic days of the past. With milestones like Steve Jobs unveiling the first iPhone, it all felt like signs that we were headed in the right direction. Like we were using technology to streamline our work and enhance our play. It was revolutionary to have everything from your phone, calculator, messages, and web browser all in one pocket-sized device. Offloading all those menial tasks once felt like a game changer in boosting our capabilities and making us more efficient. But as time went on and our efficiency increased, something strange also happened. We weren't actually saving any time. While these devices and apps have taken countless small tasks off our plates, they've also made it nearly impossible to disconnect. In streamlining our lives, they've simultaneously tethered us to our screens and replaced tedious work with constant notifications, endless scrolling, and a sense that we should always be doing something. As said here, let's be real with ourselves. How many of us are using the time afforded us by our banking app to write poetry? We just passively consume crap on Instagram. What would have happened if Benjamin Franklin had Twitter? Would he have been on Twitter all the time? Would he have made his inventions and breakthroughs? Since day one, we've been sold this story of smartphones improving our lives, but I don't have to tell you that that sentiment feels like a fairy tale at this point. And the zeitgeist of the
And it feels like a fairy tale, not because smartphones in on themselves or the internet is necessarily a negative thing, but because it has been co-opted by capital to create another form of commodity or service consumption, which lies to you that your current alienation is not as heavy duty as it actually is, and pushes you into a continuous spiral of consuming for the sake of consuming.
2020s is marked by less excitement and more by exhaustion, and in many cases, an outright resentment towards our phones. But the interesting thing is, like I said, it's not just social media that's the problem, but pretty much everything is bombarding us with requests for attention. Even the photo app is not just a storage tool anymore, but your own overly sentimental, personalized photo album generator that's always prompting you to check out the new memory compilation of the day. At this point, it feels like every app is just a modern version of Clippy, popping up uninvited, trying to help, and mostly just being annoying.
I have an unbelievable deal for you.
So let's take a second to talk about the notification epidemic, because boy howdy, is it ever outrageous. Do you remember the days when you would get that red bubble pop up on the corner of your Facebook app because someone tagged you in a photo? Well, we don't get that luxury anymore, because instead, now we get red bubble galore over everything. Like, hey, your friend posted...
Which, yeah, I never thought about this. Like, in the economy of notifications have become pretty valueless because you get so many of them, you don't really click on the thing.
A picture of themselves that has nothing to do with
your village is being attacked by Big Stalin.
You? Why don't we notify you? The apps are so desperate for us to open them up that they'll find
I turn off all my notifications, as you should, except for my stream. You should have it, like you should customize, you should code your phone so that when a Yugo Next stream begins, it's literally this sound. I want this playing every time you get a notification for Yugo Next Twitch. Okay, I think you get the gist. You can download it from that page.
Any and every excuse to send you an alert. And talking from personal experience, this has led to complete notification fatigue. No red badge, pop-up, or banner will faze me anymore because I've become totally
Now we're doing this one instead. Don't tell me you're sending the fucking... Yugoslavian EAS. Jesus, this one is somehow even worse than the previous one. Holy shit.
Desensitized to it, which is a problem because I'm always missing.
Like, imagine everybody running out of your building because they think there's an actual tornado coming, but no, it's just Yugopnik is streaming right now. That would be fucking hilarious. That would be so funny.
Important messages because they all get buried in the flood of useless notifications. But there are many other sneaky ways that these apps manipulate us into hopping on. Some are even right in our face, like Instagram's 24-hour story feature, which puts pressure on us to check
I apologize in Eastern European.
in every day so we don't miss anything. Then there's Snapchat's streaks that encourage you to also check in every day because if you miss a day, then you lose your streak. But on the sneakier side, there's something called variable ratio scheduling, where notifications are sent at different times than the action was made to get your attention when you aren't on your phone.
You know when you've had a really long day at work and you want to have a mute moment? And that's what I call it when you just want to sit on the couch and rot and not talk to anybody. Why is that whenever you want to have a mute moment, every single app on your phone decides to start sending you notifications. The Ring neighbor, someone lost their cat, somebody's at your door, there's an Amber Alert. MyFitnessPal wants you to track your dinner because you forgot to do that. Fable's like, hey girl, reminder to track your reading so you don't lose your reading streak.
McDonald's hooks us by appealing to our body's cravings for certain.
Like, imagine if somebody went to an advertising executive in 1997 and they told him, we will create a device that will make life without said device literally borderline impossible. And that's the tool we're going to use to sneak in 24/7 readily available advertising being screamed at with particular gambling casino-like noises at your consumer base. The advertiser will literally sell his soul to the devil. I mean, he already did by being an advertiser. I know, I was one myself. In order to have access to such a device. And this is a further example of a piece of tech or a piece of commodity, not by itself being negative. It just ruins, it has most of the magic taken out of it literally because of the profit motive. Because someone asked, how can we make money off of a device readily available in the pocket of everyone from the system of, hey, your mom just tagged you in a photo. How can we take something that was originally created so that you can see a photo that one of your close friends put up on the internet? How can we take that and strip it of any actual community value and instead use it as a way to make sure that people stay on their screens for as long as possible so that we increase the chances of selling them a particular product, commodity, or service through either through advertising or sell them the digital experience itself as a product in on itself. Thank you, Comrade Notes, for the 10 months. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. I honestly think one of the major selling points of getting rid of capitalism may actually be that it would dramatically reduce any incentive for obnoxious advertising. It is a very strong driving point. It would remove pretty much all of it. Ever notice how the world doesn't actually implode when you don't attend to the internet a few days? Kind of wild. Yeah, a lot of people forget this. Capitalism lives from replacing community value with shareholder value. Yes, and the OG capitalist pitch to us, I'm a fucking intellectual, was that shareholder value increasing will also translate into our the quality of our life increasing. And this didn't work, not only on the topic of material gains, like you did not become richer, money didn't actually trickle down, but also some of the shit that you really liked became shit. Because the second a passion project a piece of art, a book, anything. The second it touches the profit motive, it immediately loses a part of its soul. It immediately commodifies itself. And in the beginning, it's not much. It's whatever. Remember? Oh, an ad here and there in between Facebook posts. That's not strange. And then it goes into overdrive. What about a Twitch stream? It absolutely does the same. It absolutely does the same. So my relationship to you, potentially trying to, us creating a nice little safe community to be in, but also a community in which we can radicalize each other and educate each other on anti-capitalist perspectives and so on, because it exists in capitalism, turns into me spending for fucking 70% of the stream reminding you that you should subscribe, reminding you that you should subscribe, reminding you that you should subscribe. Shit like that. So then, I don't know, it pushes me and other streamers and so on into maybe sometimes not covering something that they are very, very passionate about, because they know that they're not going to be getting a lot of subscriptions then. So, I just turn my stream into, let's cover news, because that's what makes money. Let's cover news. Let's just all the time just news. We watch news together, and that's fucking, right? So yes, the market motivates you to do something that generates more money. But on the other side, a political, progressive, class-conscious Twitch streamer manipulates the market system itself as well, because he sees, okay, capitalism will supply me with a monetary value, and in return, I will agitate against capitalism. So there, you basically have two paths. You either say, okay, then that implies that your political activism has been fully commodified by the system because there's monetary value to be gained from it, or it implies that the particular agitator is manipulating the system into basically being able to sustain himself financially while agitating against the system. Which perspective is correct? In my funnel video that I've further developed, and I might make a part 2 on, it literally depends on whether the person that you are reading, listening to, or watching is encouraging you to organize IRL. Unironically, that's the big difference. Because the other one is just creating a more sophisticated piece of consumption that is supposed to eternally keep you here, which is also very stupid from the other perspective, because you can have both. Like, you guys can start organizations, join organizations, do political anti-war activism, and so on, and watch the show. One does not have to lose out on either. But without us agitating you to get educated, and more importantly to start doing something, which by the way also includes like starting to agitate yourself, you becoming the agitator, right? That is a direct good result. I lost my train of thought there for a second. I apologize.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much, Zans, for your 25th motherfucking gift sub. Thank you very, very much. So there you go. I am co-opting the financial motivation that I'm getting from my audience. But it gets even more complicated, right? So those are the two perspectives you can have. Leftist Twitch stream exists in capitalism, therefore it is immediately commodified by capitalism. Or leftist Twitch stream exists in capitalism. This is the Twitch streamer utilizing antiquated profit incentives that the system has created in order to financially sustain anti-capitalist propaganda. Two perspectives, right? And then there's a third one. And there's a third one which you will not like. And that is that capitalism has somehow managed to outsource the financial benefit that a leftist Twitch streamer making leftist content receives over to you, most of you being proletarians. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that a very interesting contradiction there, eh? Because we hit ourselves in the chest. You're not going to hear this from other Twitch streamers, by the way. I'm telling you literally as it fucking is. So we're hitting ourselves in the chest. Herder, I'm a lefty with a platform online. I'm doing something really good, and capitalism is stupid for paying me for it. But is capitalism paying me for it? To an extent on Twitch, up until, I don't know, 6 months ago, political content received money from ads, right? So that would be, yeah, directly capitalism paying us for the noose. We want to, for the agitation, for the noose. They want to tie around their neck. But what they did now with removing advertising for political content is completely outsource that to you. I'm shooting my financial future in the fucking head by like explaining this the way it is, but that's what it is, right? So then you find yourself in an even more unhinged contradiction where you're like, but by subscribing, I am motivating these large capitalist institutions like Twitch, which allow people to make content, sometimes even progressive content, from actually paying their quote-unquote employees, which is what we are to an extent in relation to Twitch, by giving them money directly. Why would Twitch give advertising revenue to these motherfuckers that are agitating against advertising as a concept and them as capitalist enterprises as a concept when we can offshore it to subscribers and gifters? So you will always exist in that contradiction. Well, you want to support someone and everything that they say, and you think they're a positive influence on the world and on your direct or indirect communities. So from one perspective, you want to do that. From the other perspective, you are motivating the capitalist system to even further outsource payment to you guys that are also alienated, exploited inside of your own workspace. And then take a cut. Yeah, and then Twitch also takes, in my case, 30%. I'm lucky enough to be on the fucking +2 thing. Then it takes 30% as well. It also competes with funding for IRL organizations. There you go. Absolutely correct. That's why we joke. You know, we're in a bar and I'm a bartender and you scream at me with some crazy political hot takes and I make you some ideological drinks. Unfortunately, I would love to actually send you a drink and scream political hot takes back at you. So yeah, congratulations, Yugo. You just explained to your chat of 470 people why it is complicated and even sometimes contradictory to give you money so that you can continue doing this where you are teaching them about it. Everything is a contradiction in this stupid fucking system. Everything is a contradiction. But I sleep well at night because I think I contribute to something relatively okay. And you should sleep well at night whenever you're donating, because to an extent you are, it's money you're not going to spend on a random commodity, but it's money that you're spending on a commodity that is agitating against commodities existing in the first place, right? So from that perspective, it kind of makes sense. From that perspective, it's or you can look at it as a bartender, because tipping feels better. But then again, that's the whole meme with tipping. You are motivating the capitalist superstructure to, outsource paying their employees a livable wage over to the customer. Why not self-host and fuck Twitch? I'm not big enough, my friend. I'm really not big enough.
Flavors. Facebook, Instagram.
Let me go take a piss. It would be crazy if I come back to some tips at the bar. The bartender needs to go take a piss. Love you guys. I hope this is an interesting conversation. I mean, think about Neuralink. Design a device that you can put in a human brain to enhance the human's memory or processing ability would be very, very challenging. However, putting a chip inside of somebody's brain that can stimulate different feelings or emotions would be comparatively easy. Now, connect that to a live video stream and give the streamer control of the chip output. That's become a truly dangerous tool of manipulation. Yeah, that would be fucking wild. Apparently, when Trotsky hated tipping for this reason, and all the servers at the restaurants he frequented detested him. Fucking classic Trotsky behavior. Yo, chat, be accelerationist. Do not tip your waiter so he hates your life, but instead tip a Twitch streamer that's gonna say that capitalism bad. I don't know. All of it is a contradiction. That's why it's so funny and weird. And to an extent, we gotta make up the rules as we go. The only thing I don't want to have in my relationship to you is some sort of false interpretation of my relationship to you and your relationship to capitalism, where I sit in between the two, which is subscriptions and tipping and all of this. And not just on Twitch, but more generally your relationship with content and content creators as a whole. It's all a big spire of contradicting ethics very often as well. Okay, let me go pee and I'll be right back.
Instagram and Twitter hook us by delivering what psychologists call variable rewards. Messages, photos, and likes appear on no set schedule, so we check for them compulsively, never sure when we'll receive that dopamine activating prize. And this wouldn't be a video about screen addiction if we didn't talk about the phenomenon of the infinite scroll. While TikTok was the first to perfect this technique, it is something that we've seen all over the internet because it's just so effective. These companies are in the business of removing as many decisions as they can from us because when we get the chance to think about what we're doing, we might think wrong, in regards to their business models anyway. But with infinite scroll, we don't get the millisecond chance to decide whether or not we want to keep scrolling because we're fed the next video before that thought can even cross our minds. Point being, these apps have meticulously engineered their platforms to draw us in with the curiosity of notifications and then manipulate our minds to keep us there. But this is something we all generally know, right? Like, our phones are addictive. That's old news. The point I'm trying to make, however, is that the phone addiction is not our fault. No matter how many tech CEOs will tell you that you have the free will to close the app whenever you want, the addiction is built right into the design and a distraction is their fuel.
Is it true that someone in your company said that it was an existential threat if you lost teen users?
Senator, I don't...
Is that true or not? Because we have a document that said that.
Senator, I assume that's true.
We are falling exactly in line with what these shareholders want from us, constant growth. Like, as many times as Zuckerberg says that their mission is to connect people, that doesn't change the fact that the app literally does the exact opposite.
So our new mission is to bring the world closer together.
While some blame our collective tech addiction on personal failings, like weak willpower, Harris points a finger at the software itself. That itch to glance at our phone is a natural reaction to apps and websites engineered to get us scrolling as frequently as possible. The attention economy, which showers profits on companies that seize our focus, has kicked off what Harris calls a race to the bottom of the brainstem. You could say that it's my responsibility to exert self-control when it comes to digital usage, but that's not acknowledging that there's 1,000 people on the other side of the screen whose job it is to break down whatever responsibility I can maintain. So I used to think that apps weren't changing how we think, they were just optimizing for attention, and that's how they kept us engaged. But I've come to learn that they're actively breaking our brains. And the first thing to go is our potential. What I mean by that is, as we know, notifications and scrolling give us a lot of dopamine. And we love it, right? We love, after a long day of work, getting to scroll away our feelings and just get spoon-fed brain candy. The problem with this, though, is that these apps are overloading our system and can lead to dopamine tolerance. The low-effort, high-reward form of content supersaturates our dopamine receptors, leading to the brain building up its tolerance to that media.
What's social media doing to our brain?
Continually pressing on your nucleus accumbens that produces dopamine. But the problem with that is the more you press on them, they begin to become numb. And you need more and more excitement, more and more stimulation in order to feel anything at all.
This means that things that are fun one day actually become less fun the next. TikTok, Reels, and video games all started off super fun, but quickly turn into not bringing you joy, but serve as a desperate attempt to feel the same high that you felt the first time you jumped on.
I got surprised by some food. We are eating, what are we eating this fine morning, evening/afternoon? We are eating very crazy pasta. Can't really see it from here. It's very good. It's got spinach. It's got hot peppers. It's got pesto. It's got tomato. What even hotter motherfucking mess. Even hotter motherfucking paprika, brate. And because I'm insane, a lot of feta cheese on the side because it is very nice. Damn, Mrs. Yugo cooked with this one. That's funny. But yes, she always does. Thank you very much. So yeah, let's continue the video while I munch. I'm going to try and be as fast as possible. Thank you to everybody who subscribed because you bought me this meal. It is very nice.
Hello, user. It's a phone warning. Next 10 minutes.
Now let's play. Play, motherfucker.
For us to feel joy or motivation from smaller, slower experiences because our brain has built up a tolerance. Think about it like the amount of juice in a lemon. At the beginning, if you squeeze a little bit, you get a lot of juice, but the more you exhaust it, the harder you have to squeeze. Technology is like the lemon juicer, as it squeezes out a ton of juice, but then there's no juice left. And this cycle can go even further, leading to what's called terminal boredom, where nothing really brings you joy anymore because the bar is so high for dopamine. And what this looks like is that anytime you do anything that's not with a screen, you get an intense level of boredom. And if that sounds awfully familiar to something else, that's because it is. All these things can trigger dopamine release or a dopamine rush. This feel-good neurotransmitter is also involved in reinforcement. That's why when we try one of those cookies, we might come back for another, or two, or three. The dark side of dopamine is the intense feeling of reward people feel when they take drugs, which can lead to addiction. And like I said, the long-term effects of this is that your brain's threshold for dopamine becomes so high that everyday things that should feel rewarding just don't anymore.
You know, we've really messed up relaxation because the millennial generation, I used to come to this same beach house, my aunt's beach house as a kid. Look at this view. Gorgeous view, just sitting here, nothing to do.
But also I have to comment. A lot of dopamine conversations are whitewashing capitalist alienation. What do you mean by this? You are unhappier and unhappier as the days progress, and therefore you need more and more consumption on the other end to offset the lack of purpose in life, the inability to fully enjoy the fruits of your labor, the lack of community, the individualized hyper fucking cell structure of modern capitalist society, etc., etc. So you're basically sadder and sadder and sadder, and because you're sadder and sadder, you got to consume more. And what is the thing that is readily available for everyone to consume like crazy? It's the digital product. So by only focusing on the conversation about dopamine, it implies that all the mice in the experiment are all living equally okay, and they just the mice that started looking at their phones first are the ones that are the most addicted to phones because they've used them for the longest period of time. No, if you have 100 mice, and 5 of the mice, the 5 richest mice, the 5 mice with an abundance of partners, community, and a crazy amount of food, those motherfuckers, I mean, they will get the same amount of dopamine from the consumption of the fucking piece of content, but they will have a lot of other ways to explore life than than just, watching shit all the time 24/7. So just by talking about dopamine, we remove the quote unquote material conditions from the conversation, which is problematic. It's the same, like chances of getting addicted to drugs after you try them when you have a very fulfilling life versus when you don't have anything else. Obviously, the chances of you becoming addicted are much higher when you don't have absolutely anything else. This applies to doom scrolling as well. If you don't have anything else, you're going to doom scroll more, and it's going to end up being the main place you get any sort of happiness from, which is then going to stimulate you to doom scroll even more, even more, even more, even more. So yes, the dopamine dialectic. Also, self-regulation is labor in and of itself. You're not going to be able to self-regulate well when capitalism is forcing you into 60-plus hour work weeks. Absolutely. It's focusing too much on physiology without asking about the environment that the body exists in. Absolutely. And that's why it's simplistic. It's the same like what they did when they started researching the effects of alcohol or narcotics on one's body by simply hyper-focusing on the way it changes your body chemistry without asking, why would somebody, no matter how intense the body chemistry change is, why would somebody just want to change their body chemistry 24/7, right? Like alcohol obviously does the shit it does to you. Cocaine obviously does the shit that it does to you. So that's undeniable. Nobody's denying this. But when we're not asking, why would somebody want to constantly change their body chemistry? Usually the answer was, because they can. But no, they know they will die if they keep doing this. It's not because they can. It's because they don't have anything else. Same with overconsumption of the screen. Very good point, chatter. Very, 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 very good point. Psychology and sociology, more than any other areas of science, are lacking an analysis of political circumstances and how it influences our social and psychological behaviors. Could not agree more. Rich capitalists love to tell you money doesn't buy happiness, and they are right in a sense. Money can't buy happiness because happiness isn't a commodity. But the fact that there is purchasing power for happiness indicates that if we remove money from the equation, then happiness overall will increase. Very good point. Through the creation of the currency system, we have defined how much access you versus your neighbor versus their neighbor have towards a dignified life. So it becomes a hierarchy. It becomes a rat race. It is no longer fully accessible, because to make it fully accessible is to decommodify it, and to decommodify it is to lower the profit rate and the GDP and so on and so on. And to do that in capitalist society would be seen as unproductive. Damn, it would be seen as, like line go down. The more shit you make for free, the more the line goes down, baby. Anyways, cheers.
But drink my little sparkling water, and all I can think of is to look at my phone. And when I was a kid and came here, I used to just listen to music. I had a Walkman with, I think, just the Garden State soundtrack, if I'm being perfectly honest. And I would, as a preteen, I guess, I would listen to this Garden State soundtrack and just look at the view. But now I get anxious and I need to do something. You know what I mean? And my parents, when they were my age or when they were a preteen, they would sit somewhere like this, I'm sure, just without music.
Same another point in the drugs allegory. Same let's say two neighborhoods. And in the two neighborhoods, you have the same level of alienation and same level of poverty. But in the one neighborhood, the local drug dealers were smart enough to sit at the corners of those neighborhoods because they know that it's broke. Maybe the other neighborhood is policed more because, for example, they're all white, if we're talking about the States, or just the drug dealers haven't figured out how to properly target that market. So while the same level of alienation, there is higher drug consumption because there is higher availability of narcotics. Okay, that's an easy allegory. What does that have to do with digital consumption and late-stage capitalism? There's drug dealers on every corner. There's drug dealers in every pocket. So you immediately, the second you wanna not feel the dread of late stage capitalist existence, you whip the motherfucker out and you consume in that particular way. Indeed, a very brave new world, my friend.
And just like enjoy it. And then their parents would have to sit. I mean, I don't even think they'd sit. I think they'd just like have to, I don't know, chop wood or something. So, like, I think we had it the best, but then we took it too far.
Activities that take time to deliver the same sensation, like painting, journaling, or working towards a goal, start to feel boring or frustrating because your brain isn't used to waiting for the dopamine hit. And that's the real problem. The things that move your life forward are the ones that are getting left behind. So what happens? We get overstimulated. The brain is constantly chasing dopamine, and when you live in that environment long enough, the brain adapts by becoming numb to it. Things that used to bring pleasure, reading, being outside, friendships, don't feel as rewarding. That leads to emotional flattening.
How often do you wash the pasta residue off the mask? I don't. I just sell the mask with all my saliva and pasta on it. That's how it sells for more.
A lack of motivation.
Commodify my eating.
A sense of meaninglessness. When your brain won't even give you the patience to read a book, play a sport, do some art, or even long-term goals like studying, learning a new skill, or building a business, then you stop making real progress in your life. Because the way you spend your dopamine today is the way you'll want to spend it tomorrow. If you spend your time practicing something meaningful, then your brain learns to crave that reward. But if you spend your day deep in scroll, then that becomes your default. And the deeper you go, the harder it is to pull yourself out because that's all your brain knows. These apps are hijacking our natural motivation circuit to make us motivated to scroll over anything else in our lives. They stop us from doing things that are good for us because they're hard and take too long to get that feel-good aftermath. And the effects of this are right in front of us too, like the fact that book sales in the US have climbed over the years, but the number of people actually reading has decreased. We have so many things that we want to do and we buy into them, but then we can't actually get ourselves to do it.
This analysis lacks crazy amount of substance. Because it implies that the device itself is what is stopping us from pursuing activities that are going to be more productive. And it's not questioning why we are using the device to such an extent in the first place. Summary is giving neurotypical people ADHD and ADHD people super ADHD. Bro got a chug of water. My friend, I am fucking 6'2", 6'3", fucking, I don't know, wider than my fucking door. I need to sustain all of this fucking meat some way. So yes, this is a normal glass for me. And I don't know if you saw the portion of pasta is a normal portion of pasta for me. It takes a village to feed a Yugopnik. One would say it takes a whole chat to feed a Yugopnik. So subscribe to be the village that feeds a Yugopnik, if you know what I mean. Oh.
So now I want to pivot a little bit and talk about what actually happens to our brains when we are always offloading all our tasks onto our devices. Because as it turns out, those tasks were actually good for us, and without them, our brains start to rust. This is because, just like muscles in our body, we need to work our brain muscles to maintain strength and function. When we rely on our phones so much that we stop thinking for ourselves, we eventually lose the ability to.
I saw this woman talking about our brains and how they're affected by doom scrolling. Basically, she was saying though, like, she lately had been finding it difficult to like find certain words when she was talking, just like she couldn't think of it because she's not working that muscle as much, and that scared me. Because that's been happening to me.
In just the same way that if you don't use your muscles, you become weaker. If you don't use your brain, it will become non-functional. As seen here, studies show internet addiction is associated with structural and functional changes in the brain regions involving emotional processing, executive attention, decision-making, and cognitive control. To put this to the test, I would like to ask you to solve a long division question for me. For some of you, it might be a breeze. For most of us, we might struggle through it. And for a few, you're not getting further than a blank stare. And that's because we have our trusty calculator app, right? There's no way I'm doing long division just for fun when I can punch it into this thing. And this
4K listening to your fucking teacher back in primary school, bro.
On its own is not inherently bad. I'm not saying to stop using your phone calculators, but when we're offloading all mentally challenging tasks to our phone, then our brains, like I said, lose the ability to take them on anymore. This study found that increased use of screens among adults may harm learning, memory, and mental health, as well as the potential to increase the risk of early neurodegeneration. The study shows that in adults aged 18 to 25, excessive screen time causes thinning of the cerebral cortex, the brain's outermost layer responsible for processing memory and cognitive functions, such as decision-making and problem-solving. And that leads us into the effects phones are having on our memory. I really thought it was just mom brain that was ruining my memory, but now I have a real fear that it might be my phone, because I had my first son in 2020, the same year that screens took over everyone's lives, so I didn't realize who the real culprit might be. Of those surveyed by
Any alternative way to support you without a capitalist third party taking a cut? Unfortunately, not really, my friend. It is Twitch.
Memory researcher Catherine Loveday in 2021, 80% felt like their memories were worse than before the pandemic.
I genuinely
Bits, actually, I don't think they take cuts from bits. Yeah, they don't take cuts from bits. They take a cut from you, don't they?
Don't know what's happening, but my memory is getting so bad. I could have a conversation with somebody. If you ask me to recall that conversation, can't. No idea what was said. But I used to be able to recall conversations from 2002. I can't remember any important information either, which affects me in work life and everything else. If I get an appointment and I have to put it on my calendar, I literally forget from minute to minute what I have to put in the calendar.
And the reason phones affect our memories is multifaceted. For one, we literally don't have to remember anything anymore because our phones remember everything for us. We don't need to memorize friends' phone numbers, home addresses, or birthdays, nor do we even need to remember if we're out of butter or how long ago you left the chicken thawing in the sink. While yes, physical notes have served people for millennia to help with this problem, we still previously relied a lot more on our memories and just supplemented with physical reminders.
So basically, the idea of friction is that there is value in things being a tiny bit difficult. And so when we use digital tools, there really isn't a lot of friction. Dating apps, it makes dating very easy. DoorDash.
Very nice. Some leftover, whatever.
Wonderful, a new child soldier.
Yeah, Gamer Squad official. What's up, brother? 9 months, brother. Hell yeah, brother. And now you know how we follow that. You know how you follow what we just experienced. Wait. Today's a good day. It's a Sunday. Let's have a cheers to chat, eh? Cheers to chat. 1 second. Nice meal, then. A nice little drink arena. You versus the guy she tells you not to worry about. And then, where are your legs? I am Camo Boy. Cheers. This is the life. Very fucking good. Very good. Very good. Oh, man. Life is good sometimes. A nice homemade meal. A nice little vodka. Nice little friends in chat. And a liberal on screen that we can criticize. What else does one want from life? Da. Anyways, cheers. Bro is itch scratch maxing, dude. That's my whole life.
It's very easy.
We call it merak, brate. We call it merak.
So you can kind of have this frictionless existence, whereas in the physical world, there's a lot of friction. And so it's this idea that there's a bunch of friction in the physical world and perhaps not enough in the digital world.
And that shift comes with real physical consequences for our brains. Warning, this is when the quotes start to get a little bit scary. Additional studies found that adults...
It is frictionless because digital content has been fully offloaded to a fellow civilian like yourself to create for you. That makes it more widely available. That makes it feel like it is free, even though it is not. And that is why it is so much easier to begin relying on at that intense level as compared to another commodity that you might consume that might, incur a direct cost. Oh, I bought a new shirt. That might incur a more direct and better understood concept of why consumption bad, like, oh, this is fast fashion, maybe I shouldn't consume it. There is no friction to digital consumption, not only in a psychological perspective, but in a material one. Also, the removal of friction is a part of development of society. The way it is happening currently is harmful, but in itself is not a bad thing at all. Absolutely.
To engage in excessive screen time or have a diagnosed smartphone addiction had lower gray matter volume. Gray matter is brain tissue essential for daily human functioning and is responsible for everything.
And you lose a lot of gray matter by watching ads, so don't watch the ad that is going to play in exactly 1 minute by subscribing for $6 a month, free through Prime, a Prime deal, consumerist, 21st century, late-stage capitalist package. For $6, you get to keep more of your gray matter. And I get to destroy more of it with a little bit of vodka. Hurrah, hurrah, hurrah.
From movement to memory to emotions. Gray matter volume naturally decreases as we age, so along with reducing screen time, engaging in activities that maintain our gray matter volume and promote brain health, such as exercise and movement, restorative sleep, social engagement, and stress management is crucial. Like, how awful to think that we are deteriorating our gray matter and wasting away by not using our brains. Again, it's not just the social media apps here that are the villains. It's all the tools that are taking jobs away from our brain, even your GPS. We can predict
even the shirt you're wearing, even the nice little cozy shit that you put in the background of your video. Hell, even the plants. You are de-radicalizing yourself from the extremely problematic position you are objectively in a system that grinds you until there isn't a single drop of blood left in your body by consuming this or that, by turning digital products and abstracting them from all other forms of consumption. We are engaging in a heavy duty simplistic analysis. Thank you, Kemp, for the Prime, my friend, and take you tech school dropout. Never watch ads? Sub now. Hell yeah. Thank you for the 13 months. Even the roof over your head. Yeah, even the roof over your head. That doesn't mean you can't enjoy those things. That's the difference. If you're going on a shopping spree because you feel really sad, that is the system pacifying you. If you're going on a shopping spree because, I don't know, that's a big part of your self-search or whatever, then that's a different thing. You're still participating in unnecessary consumerism, sure. But who the fuck am I to judge?
It's all the tools that are taking jobs away from our brain, even your GPS. We can predict that prolonged use of GPS will likely reduce gray matter density in the hippocampus. GPS-based navigational systems don't require you to form a complex geographic map. Instead, they just tell you orientations like turn left at the next light. These are very simple behavioral responses at a certain stimulus. When exploring this...
Yeah, these were necessary... This is like making an argument that stop signs and like big letters on signs that say drive to the left to Washington, D.C. and drive to the right to New York City. Like, oh my God, guys, the signs. Imagine like, back in my day, you would have to just ride across the goddamn plains on a goddamn horse. Now these fucking children with those 10 horsepower vehicles, they are building those goddamn disgusting fucking roads. Imagine if you drive on a road for so long, you will forget how to properly off-road on a goddamn horse. These people don't even know how to read a goddamn map or a goddamn compass. Fucking sissy boys, these fucking boomers. What's the generation pre-boomer? These guys are screaming at the boomers. Fucking putting up signs everywhere and shit. We're gonna call that sign pollution. Okay, whoa. Let's attack GPS now. Reminder that Plato was a book hater, absolutely.
Spatial capacities of
Right, who wants to waste time finding a space? But don't you know it's gonna rot your brain?
people who have been using GPS for a very long time, they show impairments in spatial memory abilities that require the hippocampus. Map reading is hard, and that's why we give it away to devices so easily. But hard things are good for you because they engage cognitive processes and brain structures that have other effects on your general cognitive functioning. Huge yikes, to say the least. The second aspect of the
that we are gonna use for what? In order to be more productive for our fucking employer? Jesus Christ. You're okay.
memory problem is that we're not giving ourselves the chance to store
Cheers, chat. Anybody drinking with me, by the way? Cheers.
our memories. We move so quickly from task to task, from app to app, that information leaves our brain as quickly as it's entered. We aren't giving our minds the chance to process and organize events in
C-Spar. Cheers, my friend.
the way that it needs.
I think one of the most damaging things about doom scrolling that not a lot of people realize is that you start to dilute your own
She mentioned capitalism even once. No.
memories. Like, I've noticed that my own memories, my own meaningful moments, they don't even really stick in my brain anymore. They just come and go in 10 seconds, just like all the other garbage that I feed into it. They just get lost in the
Cynical,
sea.
cynical Chris. Nice. 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 Wait, let me remind myself. Oh, yeah, I've had it. I've had the beer. It's good.
Of trash that I'm funneling into my brain all day.
Tech expert Linda Stone actually coined a term for this phenomenon, calling it continual partial attention. As she says, I became really interested in whether the constant distractions caused by our devices might be impacting our ability to actually not just accumulate memories to begin with, but transfer them into long-term storage in a way that might impede our ability to think deep and interesting thoughts. One of the things
The underlying assumption of difficult equals good is false too. Difficulty only has value as long as it is still achievable to succeed at it. Absolutely. It implies, this implies that everybody would have the same ability to go through a more difficult process of gaining information or processing information. Like you can do both things. You can be online and do things that engage your mind. They don't have to be at the same time. Absolutely. These can't control themselves, but therapists trust them to not give in to the impulse this time, yeah. And these people are complaining about shit as if it weren't going to be this way regardless of having a phone or not. Da-boom. That is hitting the nail on the head. Some games have been proven to heighten neuroelasticity, just as one example. Yeah.
that impedes our brain's ability to transfer memories from short to long-term storage is distraction. If you get distracted,
Neuro, yeah. I guessed you meant neuro. Imagine it. Games can make you more European.
in the middle of it by a notification or by the overwhelming urge to pick up your phone, you're not going to have the physical changes take place that are required to store that memory. This is something I've become hyper aware of since writing this essay, and I just noticed it last night where I finished a movie on Netflix, and before the end credits even finish, Netflix is showing you trailers for other movies, and I felt like I couldn't even process the movie that I just watched because they're just trying to hook you on something else, right?
Yeah, and why is that happening? Like, sure, the technology exists that can hook you faster and faster. But why is somebody using that technology to hook you faster and faster? She's not asking any of these questions, right? We look at the tool. We don't look at who's using the tool. It's like, I don't know, if I'm trying to... Sorry, I got angry a little bit. It's like, how do you get so close? And
But the thing is, this is a cyclical problem where the deeper you get into it, the harder it is to get out of it. Because when we outsource our memories to external devices, then we become more reliant on those devices. And the
oh my fucking God, missing not the forest, missing the planet for the sand on the fucking beach. Jesus fucking Christ. Holy fucking shit. Oh my God. Impressive. Absolutely fucking impressive. Does this lady believe that, like, I don't know, there are some AI tech gods that are trying to get us addicted to tech just because it's tech? Because that's half of the pitch. Like, tech bad because tech makes us addicted to tech. Not current use of tech bad because it is turning us into consumption obsessive fucking sloths. It is removing any fucking agency of or material motivation towards this by any human being on planet Earth. And don't even get me started on removing any agency from the economic and political system in which one finds himself in. Like, she can literally say it is bad that Netflix immediately makes you want to watch another show, but she cannot answer why is Netflix trying to make you watch another show. It's not feeding into some matrix of Netflix. Netflix is not a tech god of his own that simply continues to exist the more shows you watch. No, motherfuckers, because it's going to make some money for some motherfuckers that would prefer you to be a couch potato Netflix watcher all day. I'm not throwing shade. I'm one very often. Like, seriously, many of these tools are okay in moderation. It's just the capitalism utterly maximizes our usage of them. That's the problem. That's what I'm trying to say, my friend. She brought up the slavery to corporate structures. That might be something at least. No, she's not. Dude, does it look like she is? This is like liberal analysis, for example. You mentioned slavery. A liberal will analyze slavery and be like, slavery is bad because slavery fed slavery. Slavery was unethical because it would motivate those who were in power to have slaves to be able to exert power over slaves. And they were slavers because they could, and the slaves were slaves because they could not. No mention of what the slave actually does all day. No mention of how the system motivates the slaver to have as many slaves as possible in order to generate as much money as possible, or resources if it's pre-currency. It's just like things that this is true liberal brain rot. This is actually advanced liberal brain rot. Like, bad things exist because they are bad. Why are they bad? We do not ask those questions. They are simply bad. It's vibe analysis. Her main sources are also a wellness coach, The Guardian, and random TikToks. Absolutely pizza. Liberals will say this explosion happened because of this, and it's bad that it happened. But one look at who shot the missile. Exactly. No, they will say an explosion happened because bombs are bad, and they can explode. Did you know that bombs are... They are bad because of your biology and not corporal contradiction. Exactly. It's your fault, you stupid fucking organic fucking flesh demon. Your tech overlords are slowly overtaking you. You must fight Netflix. You must karate chop your TV. The TV is your enemy, not the maker of the TV. Huzzah! Yeah. Don't you sell your iPhone now and replace it with another product. You will have more time to consume other types of things because that is the only thing at our disposal in capitalist alienation. Ha! These stupid conservatives, they sit on the phone all day. I have rejected the phone. Instead, I extract surplus value from my employees and do talks about how to start your own business. The logical outcome of this lady's logic. Let's see it.
The flesh is weak, but the machine is eternal.
Absolutely. 100. No, they say explosive substances are bad, thus we should ban all potentially explosive substances. No more nuclear power plant, no more explosive chemicals. I need to find the maker of the TV, dead or alive, and start building a cement wall in front of his doors and windows. Oh, Lord, you guys are funny. Call them menu eater. Can't see the difference between the thing and the symbol representing the thing. Very good. That is very good. That is very good. Oh, one sub away from 1,700. Isn't that shit annoying you? Or you guys enjoy 69? 69. 699.
The more we're reliant on those devices, the more damage we're doing. And it gets to the point where we ultimately change how our memories work and are constantly missing things when we don't set reminders. Sounds familiar to me, I don't know about you. So instead of freeing up mental space to get more out of our lives, we end up giving more of ourselves to our devices. And now there's...
And even when smarter libs say it's not the tech, but how people use it, by people, they always mean the consumer and not the producer, 100% of the time. Dude, this is just the second coming of you will save the environment by consuming properly.
A new child
You know, let's save the turtles by drinking out of a different type of straw. Change the type of car you drive or the type of shit that you consume, and that's how you're going to save the world. It is not on these megacorps and these burgeoning political elites that are directly connected to them. It's not about the system that motivates us to self-destruction. A pathetic system of supply and demand, of profit increase that has hijacked our very destiny. The destiny of our species from our own image of what we want to come next. No, it's not that. It's the thing itself. And it's you. It's you. Everyday Joe, hey you. Squeal Pig, Lele, Shaz. Capitalism is genocidal. Dude Zoot, Red Phil. All of the problems hitting society are not systemic. They're just because you're dumb motherfuckers, okay? We're all dumb motherfuckers being manipulated by some magic entities that just exist in a bubble, like phones, you know? Like the Matrix of Netflix.
Wonderful. A new child soldier. Subscriber.
Started to only consume tools to create and fix things, and a couple of tools that kill things. And with that, kids have adopted the identity of hating reading or hating school entirely because they would rather say hate something than admit they don't know something, and they're on their phones all the time because they want to escape their stressful realities. There is a product always available for you to consume and feed money into through time instead of actually realizing just how fucked you are. Okay, you have a IV drip 24/7, but this lady would blame the IV drip, not who is depositing the narcotic in your body from the IV drip. Okay, drugs are bad, but dealers are kind of okay, I guess. Thank you, Darkwing Cuck, for the gift. I fucking love that name so much, and thank you very much. I have a username for the 2 months. Really, really glad to see you sticking around. Thank you very much.
even growing concern that this constant offloading of cognitive tasks may be contributing to the rise of dementia.
Yeah, we just go back to just psychology. Psychology is extremely important and a great science, but what Toast the Android said, like sociology and psychology suffer from the inability to include systemic political analysis or just classic fucking political analysis into the reasoning on why people or groups behave the particular way they behave. It's like studying humans inside of a glass vault, even though there's not a single human that lives in the glass vault. They live in society. Like, what does this contribute to?
Okay, I do promise that this video is going to get more positive, but it does have to get worse before it gets better. So let's talk about how we're losing our ability to think. How fun. But actually, the art of deep thinking is becoming one of the past. And with that, I want to ask you, when was the last time you actually let your mind wander? With no directing or distracting at all. It's actually a lot harder these days.
Yeah, it's a lot harder because of what? Okay, what? Chat. What is she going to say? Why is it a lot harder to have a moment for yourself? Why is it a lot harder for you to be able to think about your connection to self, to truly touch that little feeling of being itself, of actually meditating? Why don't we have time to do that? I wonder.
Is to do that because we live in a storm of mental stimulation with no breaks.
If your mind is constantly running and you feel like you can't turn it off, there's that buzzing that never stops. I'm gonna tell you, you need to put the phone away. I know, doom scrolling feels so much better, and you know what happens when you put the phone away? You can hear the voices in your head. And who wants to do that? But like, what are the voices?
And there you go. What are the voices in your head? Okay. So what are the voices in your head? What are they telling you? What is the phone abstracting you from? What?
The same. Why are we scared of them?
There's a reason why people say
we're not necessarily scared of them. We are just hyperstimulated to not think about them by a system that does not want us to think about those problems and instead wants to feed us products that make them money.
They get their eureka moments in the shower or while driving, because these are the rare moments we actually get.
Or maybe it's COVID, as Pizza Famine says.
Reprieve of the noise and demands of daily life. But even those moments are compromised now with the diverse network of media we get to choose from. And that's the problem. We don't get to be left to our own thoughts, even if we want to.
Yeah, like an ad is going to play in 1 minute. Be left to your own thoughts. Support what we do here on the show, making fun of liberal fucking simplistic freaks in a very bullying manner, or gift to fellow chatters around you to help them remain with their own thoughts. Thoughts, not thoughts, okay?
All this frenetic...
Yeah, I knew exactly, Bridget, I knew exactly one of you motherfuckers was immediately going to say that. THOUGHT, okay?
Digital interruption is pulling our attention away from our thoughts and suppressing your default mode network. We're almost in this constant stimulus-driven, stimulus-bound environment, moving from one distraction to the next. If you don't remove yourself from that, it will suppress whatever train of thought you had. And I am such a victim of this. Like, I used to have this thought that any downtime was wasted time. So any chance I would get, I would listen to podcasts or YouTube videos. And that...
Why were you stuck in the idea that all free time is wasted time? Is it maybe a system that wants you to work every moment you can because as it develops, the falling rate of profit must encourage greater and greater productivity of labor in order to keep itself afloat? No, it's because podcasts. It's because of very funny cat videos on internet. Better than me thinking hard thoughts. Jesus Christ.
Did mostly come from a place of me being a stay-at-home mom and a YouTuber at the same time because my research time was so limited, so I felt like I had to optimize every free moment. But as I've learned, it is not a waste of time to slow down. In fact, there are so many benefits to letting your mind wander and giving yourself space to think deeply.
If she makes it about starting a business or something, I swear to God, I'm going to lose my shit.
The reason deep thinking is so important is that it allows us time for thoughtful reflection and analysis and to make connections that we otherwise would have missed. This all leads to increased creativity, critical thinking, and problem solving.
Okay, she didn't fuck up that much. Because critical thinking, problem solving, and potentially, higher financial stability. I thought that's where she's going to go. Someone with the guilty pleasure of consuming self-help slob content. This is such self-help slob. Is it? Yeah,
Johan Harry actually went.
I don't know why I thought, I don't know, this content creator is like sophisticated, but whatever.
On a 3-month technology detox to try and battle this. And what he had to say was, in that time, I felt more creative than I had since I was a child. Ideas started spinning out of my head. When I would get home and write them down, I realized I was having more creative ideas and making more connections in a single 3-hour walk than I usually had in a month. I started to let smaller moments of
deep chat, really deep, right? Make all face. Very incredibly deep. Motherfucker wrote a book and somebody published this. Motherfucker was like, when I have a walk, it really helps for me to deep think versus when I just doom scroll. That is like bad. Sir, here you go. $10 million in a book deal. Oh. Why do we want that? Isn't that still a capitalist drive to be more productive? To be more productive is not a capitalist drive. To be more productive while your labor value is extracted is a capitalist drive. So they pitch to you that being more productive is good because that's how they make more money out of you. While if that contradiction did not exist, then being more productive would be pretty much a subjective connotation. Like if you want to be more productive for yourself, great. If you want to live a life of leisure, good. Like no morality would be ascribed to either or. This kind of content is made by taking a veneer of scientific backing and misinterpreting neoliberal values into actual scientific data. This type of content is a undergrad college degree.
mind wandering into. When I finished
this is like half of your undergrad college degree friends that have a very decent knowledge about a particular topic. Like she probably, I don't know, graduated psychology. So she knows psychology, but then, all of her analysis is only informed by the degree that she has, by the field that she has. And it includes the complex ecosystem of factors that contribute to a particular issue that one talks about, right? So you will have the economists that graduated the economy, and they're going to look at absolutely everything simply as economists. Somebody finished psychology, everything from that perspective. Somebody's a medical doctor, everything from that perspective. Somebody's, I don't fucking know. Whatever else, it is vulgar. I think that's the proper word to use. It is vulgar because it is so. It has so much tunnel vision. Let's use that expression. Exactly. We need scientific intersectionality and interdisciplinary thinking. Exactly. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's oof. Put it on a plaque next to my fucking grave. Cheers, chat. Love you, motherfuckers.
Reading a book, I would just lie there for 20 minutes, thinking about it, staring out to the sea. Weirdly, it seemed like letting my spotlight disappear entirely was improving my ability to think and to focus in some way I couldn't articulate. My consciousness drifted like boats I could see bobbing on the horizon. This is one of the most basic human experiences that is nearly going extinct because for the first time ever, if we don't want to think, we don't have to. But without this mind wandering, we have a harder time making sense of the world and also become more vulnerable to external sources telling us what to think and believe. If we aren't giving ourselves the time to think over our life.
What are those external sources? Okay, wait. What are those external sources?
our decisions, then we don't know what to believe or stand for. Instead, we just become storage units for other people's sound bites. There's no time to analyze and critique when you don't even have an inner voice challenging the narratives you're absorbing 24/7.
I don't know if it's just me or not.
Okay, so she's centricing this so fucking good, because like everybody at that point of the video, like the communists are like say the communist thing, the Republicans are like say the Republican thing, the neo-Nazis are like, she's a white lady, say the white power thing, say the DEI thing, you know, all of us are like this. But that's why the liberal is the most is the condom of all of ideology. It is not filled by anything, an unused condom of ideology. It appears as a phallic object, even though deflated, yet it is not filled by anything. And to attempt to fill it, you would simply be left with a condom with some jizz in it. What I'm trying to say is don't sleep with liberals.
I feel like we live in a society now where like nobody thinks for themselves anymore. Like I feel like people don't have critical thinking skills anymore. Like people take other people's opinions and use it as their own. As people are just going with the popular thing to say.
This is absolutely fucking idiotic. This is how people work. Internet, no internet. This is how people... Yo, bro, like people like hear other opinions and they like internalize them, and then like that becomes a thing that they stand for. Like, holy shit, nobody like generates their own opinions anymore. Like, bro, you know, I like sit by myself in a room and I think up a new color, bro. Fucking crazy. And then I go out and I'm like, that's purple. And they're like, no, bro, that's red. I'm like, no, it's fucking purple. And then like other 50 guys say, no, bro, it's fucking red, bro. You see, these guys completely manipulated by society, bro. Just because other people told them it's red, they want to call that particular color red. I, for one, I believe it's purple because I don't listen to the man. I don't know why the hippie in my brain is constantly doing... typical Joe Rogan guest. Every generation says no one has critical thinking skills anymore. I even fall into this myself with discouraging others from using AI to do their thinking. It is an established pattern, though. It is. Your inner hippie has a dry mouth. Yeah, from sucking all that from eating all that capitalist ass. Woo! Come on, that was good. Come on, that was a 9 out of 10. That was a 9 out of 10. Oh, Jesus, we are so far away from today's fucking daily sub goal. It's okay. It is a 6 out of 10, Kubashi. How dare you? How dare you? I did a rant. I connected to liberal mumbo-jumbo thought pretending to be intellectual, also known as the hippie, and then I interconnected it, mouth to ass, with the capitalist class. That sucks. Okay? That sucks that you gave me a 6.
Versus...
Okay, at least I will give you an 8 out of 10. Others are giving me a 7, so it's not that much better. It's, what the fuck. My gift sub button is broken. That's fucking hilarious. Now, don't worry, Pizza Famine. You've saved me from a famine too many times.
Just like their own opinion. Like people just don't form their own opinions anymore.
And so weird enough, we're simultaneously living in a culture that can't focus, but also can't mind wander either. We are completely consumed in a kind of mental purgatory of neither thinking nor resting, just cycling through shallow thoughts that disappear as quickly as a swipe.
Because deep down inside, we understand we are between a hard place and a nail in a world of understanding our true potential and yet not having the ability, knowing that we do not have the privilege or the ability to fully realize those. We are stuck at the lower stages of the Maslow pyramid in perpetuity. For to exit it, we must either be very lucky or already born on top of it. Think it's a bug with Twitch on Firefox? Okay, you're actually being serious. What the actual helly? Move to Google Chrome right the fuck now and oil me the fuck up. I'm kidding, man. Just enjoy your Firefox. She's been saying this for 10 minutes over and over. Is there somewhere else she's going with this? No, there isn't.
Hello from my couch. So as I was researching for this video, I was determined to find solutions to all these problems, which we will get more into later. But specifically with the deep thinking issue, I was getting really frustrated with myself that I myself never let my brain have a break. And so at a certain point, I just went outside to lay in the grass to try and decompress a little bit. And I expected to be out there for only like 5 minutes, but it ended up being closer to 30 because I was actually really enjoying myself and enjoying not thinking, essentially. But it wasn't until later that night that I realized that I was actually kind of meditating. I'd heard of the benefits of meditation before, but was always kind of intimidated.
Is this what you guys mean when you say white women? Because I was confused by that, because I'm in Eastern Europe, all women look like this, but is this what you guys mean when you say white women? Everybody's saying yes. Okay. Okay. I finally get it. I unironically finally get it. A white woman moment. This is their final transformation. How the end of every sentence kind of goes up at the end, like she's some kind of fucking... Guys, I heard about this Oriental approach to coffee. So it's not coffee. They actually put some leaves in the thing. Apparently it's healthier. And it doesn't make you want to go poop as much. They call it tea or tea or... what is it? Yes, Jessica? Tea. Oh, yeah, it's incredible. I discovered it. You want to buy some for me? Oh, pičku materinu. Try some chai tea.
Wonderful, a new child soldier. Subscriber.
They have like a whole ceremony for it. Sweet 17, baby. Hey, Hachira, thank you for painting the chat a little bit purple. Thank you very much for your support, my friend. America is full of this exact woman.
By it, and honestly it sounded boring. But again, it wasn't until I started researching for this video that I realized how beneficial meditation can be for your brain function and combating all these problems we've talked about today. And as the weeks went on and I was meditating more, I noticed tangible benefits like managing distractions and thinking clearer. Because the way meditation works is that it's not actually about preventing thoughts, but engaging with them, not in an analytical or focused way. Rather, it cultivates awareness of the present moment, including thoughts of life's
Yeah, explain it a little bit more.
ups and downs rather than blowing past them or suppressing them. And so I ended up reaching out to Headspace to be the sponsor of today's video because I feel like they're the
There was a prelude to an ad. Toasty, how did you guess it? I didn't see when you called it. She just spent an entire video talking about how ads and digital products are injecting themselves into every space that was once holy and, through our liberal bullshit, but still, technology is co-opting stuff that we used to be able to do by ourselves. She even mentioned fucking Google Maps and GPS as being problematic. Is she about to pitch An app. Holy Mother of God. We have found the liberal final boss. You know exactly what I'm doing. The liberal final boss. Let's see where she takes this.
Perfect partner in starting and maintaining your meditation journey. If you don't know Headspace, they are the everyday mental health app that's proven to help stress less, sleep better, and feel happier. What I really like about Headspace is how easy they make meditation by offering guidance and a variety of course lengths to fit your needs. So if you have a hard time with spiraling in your thoughts, or you only have a 3-minute break to fit meditation in, Headspace is your perfect companion. I found Headspace really helpful in keeping me consistent with the flexible courses, as well as how easy it is to just open it up at any point and get started. They also have a bunch of other features like breathing exercises, mindful walks and runs, and sleep content. The cool thing too is that just 10 days of Headspace is proven to decrease stress and increase happiness. So if you're interested in Headspace and battling your late-stage screen addiction like myself, then click the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen and try it out entirely free for 60 days. Check it out and see how Headspace might be helpful to you.
I've never been more afraid in my life. Phone bad. Your Apple phone used now. I just commit to die. My soul commit to die. I'm entering a stage of psychosis I have not yet experienced. Person with complete lack of self-awareness making a video about having no self-awareness. No way you just did the... What did I do? Oh, God. I can't even do the ad pitch now because you guys would prefer an ad over this. I mean, I just made you watch an ad. Oh, holy shit. Why do I even do what I do? Why do I... why are we even here? Just to suffer? Literally, like... why? I have it on my playlist. I mean,
Why are we still here? Just to suffer.
Finally, somebody has broken me. I am accepting the doomer pill into my soul. This is it. You have lost a comrade. This is it, chat. I am officially going to sell this apartment. I'm going to get a nice little cottage in the woods, and I will grill pill till the moment I die. This is it. You cannot defeat this. Anti-phone white woman liberal is the final boss. I have met my match, okay? A real man knows when to give up. Knows when they have been defeated. That is probably the craziest thing I will see today. That is the craziest thing I've seen in weeks. And I look at crazy stuff for a living.
Wonderful, a new child
She made a 40-minute video about her addiction to phones, and then I gotta write it in the comment. I'm gonna be like internet comment etiquette. We're writing a comment, chat. We have a new bit. Thank you, Joe1, for the bits, and thank you, Eclipse, for the subs. You can try and keep me here with the subs. No, I am retiring. Fuck this shit. Gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. Somebody's an OG. Okay, so phone is bad, but we never ask why. 30 minutes later we say, hey,
Wonderful, a new child soldier.
hey,
Subscriber.
phone bad. So let me show you a thing on phone that can limit how much using phone bad while using phone. I can't believe this is the thing that broke me this month after having gone through the Epstein files literally earlier this week. What I am saying is that you freaked me out more than a bunch of rich people doing things to the buttholes of children. I have never subscribed to the white woman meme thing. Honestly, low-key thought misogynistic for me to say, but as a third removed off-white Slav, I think I can allow myself this one indulgence of saying, holy fucking shit, what a white woman moment. There you go, and post. Thank you, Monique777, for the 10 months, you fucking legend. That made me want to jettison myself into space. No thoughts, no problem. There's an app for that, is the pitch. And she literally pitches us that app. Okay, so phone is bad, but we never ask why. 30 minutes later, we say, hey, phone bad. So let me show you a thing on phone that can limit how much using phone bad while using phone. I can't believe this is the thing that broke me this month after having gone through the Epstein files literally earlier this week. What I am saying is that you freaked me out more than a bunch of rich people doing things to the buttholes of children. I have never subscribed to the white woman meme thing. Honestly, low-key thought misogynistic for me to say, but as a third removed off-white Slav, I think I can allow myself this one indulgence of saying, holy fucking shit, what a white woman moment. Do not brigade, don't post anything. No, please, no. No, don't do any of that stuff. I love you guys, don't do that. Yeah, thank you, Toasty, for saying that. Yeah, we're not those types of... She's probably a lovely, normal human being. I was just baffled that, like, she wrote this, she edited this probably for like 20 fucking hours. She rewatched this probably like 10 times, and that didn't click even once. That did not click even once. It's incredible.
Finally, we've arrived at my favorite part of the video, actionable steps. I find that so often these conversations on screen addiction end on the most unmotivational shoulder shrug note of, well, here we are and we don't know what to do.
Eddie Burbach's video on his phone addiction is as apolitical as hell, but at least it's fun and wholesome. Oh my God, what is happening with my Chitterino, bro? What is happening with my Chitterino, brother?
Basically everything that I'm algorithmically served are constantly placing people online into in-groups and out-groups. Like, if you disagree about a White Lotus episode in person, you're just hearing another perspective. But when a group of people have a different opinion on Twitter, it feels like large swaths of strangers are not like you over a micro-diversion of an opinion about a show from Ned Schneebly.
Shut up! You both just cut it out for 1 second.
Even though I was aware of this, time in the real world and away from my phone had me connecting with people in a much more positive light. Again, still paying attention to the news, so not saying everything's fine. Far from it. But not getting mad at invisible strangers and bots 1,000 times a day had me feeling a way I didn't in a long time. And during my final week...
Yeah, sure, you got rid of that one. Yeah, I remember this video. I think I watched it. I want the white woman back. Okay, we're back. Sorry, chat, we're back.
Do about it. But I was determined to not let this video end like that. So
Do you want that to be a new bit? Every time we watch a video, we have to comment on it. Do you think that would be a fun bit? Every time we watch a video, even if we like it. If we like it, we post something like wholesome. If we don't like it, we lose our mind.
I left a huge chunk at the end here to talk about actionable steps that actually work. Because
The destruction of capitalism until the last one. We will scour the lands, the forests, and the dungeons. They will litter the...
No, I can't. TOS, wait. I got too excited. No. I'm gonna get myself banned because of a white woman. God forbid. Sorry.
The answer is not just succumbing to the crap hand we've been dealt. But first, I do want to talk about the stuff that doesn't work because I feel like it's the most common advice I've seen. So let's start with digital detoxes, since I already mentioned them in this video. The reason these don't work is because if you've ever actually done one, you'll know, literally nothing changes once you're done. Sure, the detox helps reset your brain a bit, but as soon as it's over...
Absolutely, but you still continue existing in the particular system you find yourself in, and will simply find new ways of consuming that does not involve digital assets.
Most of us just fall right back into our old habits. The other thing I see suggested a lot is dumb phones. If you haven't heard of dumb phones, they're growing in popularity and they're just as they sound.
Another commodity.
A stripped down version of a smartphone. Models vary, but most of them have the basics.
Dumb phones, to an extent, are like... I understand why you would do it, and I kind of even respect you for it. This particular commodity you don't fuck with, which is being online all the time, so you get rid of it. Okay, that's perfectly fair. But don't extrapolate that as a solution to this problem. When you start talking about this as a solution to everything, then you're basically the freak that's like, ooh, we must stop using plastic straws. They're very bad.
Calls, texts, an alarm, calculator, and GPS if you're
lucky. This is how we solve environmentalism.
The idea is that they're an upgrade from the old flip phone, but with no ability to get you distracted. And it's a really cool idea in theory, but for the average person, I feel like it's completely unrealistic. Let me tell you, I went down this rabbit hole because I was super into it.
Because the only, the only way you know how to solve your problem is by consuming in a different way.
And I really wanted to find a dumb phone that would work for me. But the thing is, the overarching problem with them is that they dictate a one-size-fits-all definition of what counts as distraction. But what one person would qualify as a minimal phone is probably different from what someone else would qualify as a minimal phone. Take the Light Phone 3, for example. It's really cool and well made, but just so limited. It consists of only calling, texting, alarm, calculator, calendar, directions, notes, and a music player. But what does a girl have to do to get her banking app on this phone? Because that is solely a practical app. There is no distraction in it. And to be honest, I know this goes against the whole dumb phone idea, but I want an...
No, I disagree. I unironically don't have my banking app on my phone. I have my banking app on my burner. My second phone. Just so that I don't have to continuously overthink finances.
Internet browser on my phone. Is that distracting? Kinda.
Also because I live in a part of the world where somebody can come with a knife to my fucking throat and then make me transfer all my money to him from my phone. But like this, I will just open my phone and I'll be like, yo, I don't have anything in it.
But not in the...
I also have a hidden compartment in my wallet for my main debit card. I have a fake debit card that has $0 in it. So if somebody's robbing me and takes me to the ATM, it's just going to say no money left. So I'm going to be like, dude, I don't have any money left. And then we're going to go and he's like, oh, holy shit. You don't have any money left. Here's $5.
a doom scrolling kind of way. The thing is, I'm a mom and I want to be able to look up what the difference is between an insect and a
dumb phone. No, it's another smartphone. I just keep it at home. It's my flip Samsung.
Bug for my kids whenever questions like that come up. Sue me. Now I can already hear the critics ringing in my ears. Why don't you just delete social media? Yeah, what a great idea. As if I didn't already try that. Also, to stay away fully from short form, you would have to delete YouTube.
You keep talking about the fucking tool, not the way it is manipulated.
And that's just such a big source of media that I'm not willing to sacrifice. I also want to note that I don't think these apps are horrible in the sense that there's so much valuable content on them. They just serve it to you in the most horrifically addictive way. But to take you through my process here, previous to researching for this video, I would go through weekly cycles of deleting Instagram and TikTok, but it just wasn't sustainable because when I would get them back for work or just to catch up with people, I would get sucked right back into them. And this is because I was trying to rely on my willpower alone to overcome the apps, something you're probably also familiar with.
What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want?
Like, how many of us have tried the daily timers or the app blockers that only take like 2 clicks to bypass?
Oh my god, my screen time is 5 hours today. That is insane.
You know what you gotta do is you gotta set a time limit on your phone because that way it'll pop out and you can just dismiss it and it actually does nothing to change how much time you spend on the app whatsoever. It's just a minor inconvenience every 15 minutes throughout the day.
Oh my god, that's a perfect feature for me.
They just don't work in my opinion, or at least don't work for a lot of people because they try and stop you when you're already knee deep. What we need to do is create a system.
Why is somebody knee deep?
Wonderful, a new child soldier.
What forces someone to do cocaine 7 days a week instead of once a week? Okay, once a month, I'm sorry. What forces someone to spend 7 hours on their phone instead of 1? Oh, because they're sad or they're lost. Why are they sad or lost? Why do they need instant gratification? What are they running away from? I'm tired of repeating myself. Thank you, Mugetsu the Fox. You fucking legend. 5-month streak, baby. Let's fucking go.
Where we don't rely on our self-control alone to take on the
unemployment, even if they are employed. The alienation they receive from it. The lack of community that they have in an ever more segmented society.
Power of 1,000 suns worth of engineers manipulating our brains. So finally, here's what I've been doing and what's been working really well for me. First of all, turn off basically all notifications on your phone. We need to decrease the amount of times our phones are crying for our attention, and one way to do that is by only letting it tell us about urgent things. For me, that means only leaving on my calls, messages, and email notifications. Nothing else is really that pressing, and everything else that is
Come to Brazil. I will one day, 100%.
important, I will eventually get to it on my
Yeah, this is okay advice.
own, like my YouTube studio. I don't need to be told about the comments coming in because I know I'm gonna go on the app and check it anyway when I have the time. But this also goes for all social media apps. Like, there's literally no reason for them to be sending me notifications. Along with that, turn off all the red badges. I honestly think that they mean nothing. Like, again, if it's something important, chances are I'm gonna open the app anyway, and I don't need Gmail showing me that I have 4,000 emails that I haven't opened. That's way too stressful to look at, and I'm choosing ignorance instead. Sites foster a sort of distracted lingering, partially by lumping multiple services together. To answer a friend request, we'll pass by the newsfeed, where pictures and autoplay videos seduce us into scrolling through an infinite stream of posts. What Harris calls the bottomless bowl, referring to a study that found people eat 73% more soup out of a self-refilling bowl than out of regular ones, without realizing they've consumed extra. The friend request tab will nudge us to add even more context by suggesting people you may know, and in a split second, our unconscious impulses cause the cycle to continue. Once we send the friend request, an alert appears on the recipient's phone in a bright red and trigger color. Harris says more likely than some other hues to make people click. And because seeing our name taps into a hardwired sense of social obligation, she will drop everything to answer. In the end, he says, companies stand back watching as 1 billion people run around like chickens with their heads cut off, responding to each other and feeling indebted to each other. So the goal here is to cut off the cycle before it even starts. Turn off those notifications. To get back on the topic of dopamine for a quick sec, something else I found super helpful is learning that your brain is most sensitive to dopamine in the
Okay, she's gonna tell us to only use it when we really need to use it and to limit the ways in which it can manipulate us into opening it as fast as possible. Wow. Anyways, thank you, lady. Thank you. That was
He
fascinating. I learned nothing about anything except that I can now finally say white woman moment without my chat literally crucifying me. So thank you for that, I guess. I have new achievement unlocked, new privilege guaranteed. I am now officially a white woman. I'm not. Oh, Jesus Christ. I am not. But oh, Lord. The next video we were going to watch was why Gen Z can't find their direction in life. But I am terrified of watching Ashley here go through that topic. I am scared out of me mind.
We will all go together when we go. What a comforting fact that is to know. Universal bereavement.